Michael's Zombies, a Roblox game inspired by the popular Call of Duty franchise game mode called Zombies, but with a twist. In the name, Michael is mentioned, a popular cat in a meme called This Is Michael, also known as Michael, the standing-up cat. Before we fully delve into this, I just want to pre-apologize for the bad frames in the background for the gameplay. The recorder that I use is not letting me be able to capture all the frames constantly, and because of my GPU can't render in the video fully properly in the editor. So because my hardware isn't really too great at the time, it won't be like fully great production value at the moment. However, in the future it will get much better as time goes, as I'm saving up currently for a gaming PC. So first of all, I'm actually going to be narrating the segment of every single question and response. The interview section of this video is going to have a big amount of time out of it. However, at the end, I will be going through and going over what was said and helping people understand the true story of Michael's Zombies and how the developers made it. Okay, so for my first question is, what made you want to create and develop Michael's Zombies? I started working on Michael's Zombies for a multitude of reasons. The first reason was because I wanted to get away from working on a previous game due to me having a conflict with the game's owner. The second reason was because I've always tried to make a Call of Duty Zombies game like Star Battles when I was younger, but never knew how to due to inexperience. The third reason was because I needed a way to help me pay for my apartment rent and college while I focus on my studies, lol. Thanks, so when did you and Joe meet? Sorry for asking personal questions, you don't have to answer if you want. I met Joe online. I made a Twitter account but I never used it until recently. I started posting gun framework development stuff on the Twitter without knowing what I would make of it. Then I saw that Joe posted an AI zombie demo on a blank map, which posed the question of what map is this on the Roblox dev hashtag. Can anyone guess what map I'm ripping off here? I saw the tweet randomly on my timeline and recognized the map as Rise, so I reached out to Joe and that's how it started. First contact, lol. So he had already started development on the game, or did you both come up with the idea of making the game and started to work on it? I don't know if he was gonna work on his own version of the game before I met him. That's a good Joe question. I knew I wanted to make a zombies game, but I didn't really have any modeling / building experience. But when I saw Joe's tweet, I saw that he could model stuff, so I reached out to him to see if he wanted to help make guns and maps while I did the coding. We both played Star Battles Rise back in the day, and we wanted to bring those memories back to people, so we just made that. We didn't even think about the Michael's part of it all until later. So at first I thought it was Joe doing the coding since I looked at his YouTube channel, but I'm actually surprised. I thought you did the modeling and the animating and he did the coding, but I was wrong, lol. How long did it take to build the wave system? Also, how long did it take Joe to build Rise and texture it properly? Lol. Joe does a bit of coding too, but I do a majority of it and a lot of the heavy coding stuff. Joe does more of the GFX, building, and video stuff. I do a lot of the animating and VFX though. The wave system itself was fairly quick to do. I followed the wave system algorithm that Black Ops 1 does basically. The hardest part though was the zombie AI stuff, and it's still not perfect. It took Joe about a week to make Rise and texture it all. He grinded a lot for it. No way. Lol, yeah. We're crazy. Yeah, lol, coding is hard though, lol. Yeah, I coded that gun framework in about 1 to 2 weeks in August of last year. Joe literally booted up WAW, World at War, Call of Duty, on his computer while building to make it accurate. That Call of Duty game's a classic. Sorry if I sound stupid, but did you apply the same framework to all the weapons, or did you have to change it based on the weapon? Lol, don't worry about it. Initially when I was developing the framework, I developed it with only one working gun. First, I was just using an AK-47 free model. As anyone would, lol. Lol saves time, yeah. and it was before I had the Joe. Also was learning how to animate properly in Blender at the time. As well, once I got one gun, I worked on expanding the system for multiple, and then it just grew from there. I tried learning Blender animating. It's hard, especially when rigging. So what did you both expect on your guys' release for Michael Zombies, and did you expect the community you got from it? Before we released Michael Zombies, we expected it to take off because we believed our take on COD Zombies genre was unique and had lots of character. We were both hyped by it. But when we released it initially, we didn't find a lot of success. I posted it and showed it to the community of the other game I talked about earlier, Shards of Genesis, and it didn't really take off with them. But after we made some adjustments to gameplay and accessibility of the game, and along with a little bit of advertisement, it started to grow quickly. I don't know if we had any expectations from the community. The previous games I've worked on had very toxic communities due to the game being PvP fighting games, having lots of drama and such. I kinda expected Michael's to not be as toxic or dramatic, and thankfully that's the case. Yeah, the Roblox Zombies / Call of Duty Zombies community isn't as toxic and more welcoming in a few ways. Yeah. I love the fan art pictures people post in the community server. So I know that Joe had created the Risky Rollers game on Roblox, which is, and was, a very good game. Yeah, lol, very talented people in the community. So what would be the biggest things you guys were nervous about in Michael Zombie's success, about 1 to 3 months down the road after release? Like whether or not the community would decrease in popularity quickly after, minorly slow releases on updates, because developing takes time, lol. That was one of the things we were kinda worried about, and still are. Because we're just a 2-person team, it's hard to create meaningful updates quickly. On one end of the spectrum, we want to get updates to players as quickly as possible, to keep the game fresh and relevant. But on the other end, we want to make updates large and meaningful, and in a way it helps us prepare for future updates, and during the school year it was twice as hard of a battle due to both of us having classes and homework to complete. We weren't worried about the game dying out to 0 players. There's always gonna be people who like the COD Zombies genre. Yeah. Do you feel like since Michael Zombies is a zombies game and has endless rounds, do you feel like speedruns kind of increase the concurrent player amount because of the high competition? Also, you guys were rocking with 300 concurrent players like 5 months ago, I believe, when I joined the community. Now you guys are at around 800 to 1,000 concurrent players, and average and more. Definitely. Heck, when I was younger I tried beating Star Battle's Rise world records so many times. I don't think speedruns for world records are the main appeal of the game though. I think the main thing people enjoy is starting off games with nothing and slowly gaining more power over the match and pushing their limits to a new personal best round. Like there's an infinite capacity for improvement with infinite rounds, of course, lol. Yeah, when I introduced my friend to Michael Zombies, he had just started Roblox, and he knew what Call of Duty Zombies was, and he had a basic concept of what the game was about, but I had to show him around since he had never played Michael Zombies, and had never played a Call of Duty Zombies game, but now it's his favorite game, lol, same with me. Epic, yeah lol. Were you guys concerned about exploiters / hackers ruining the whole experience around 1 to 4 months down the road? Joe isn't really. I am kinda concerned about them, but I doubt they can ruin the whole experience. It's a habit for me to think about the exploitability of the game as a programmer, and also due to my fighting game background, but honestly it's just a zombies game. You don't really gain too much from cheating to begin with. Exactly. In a PvP game, it's a different story. In the next update though, I'm working on a ban system for exploiters, so watch out exploiters, no more account, lol. Let's go, yeah baby! As well as working to improve game security. Lol, yeah. Our mods will actually be able to ban people. Yeah, so what do you and Joe think about the concepts that players have made in the game suggestions chat? Some of them are very funny to read, some of them we actually take into consideration and add though, and some of them are annoying. to read, especially if they're like duplicate suggestions. Quality of life suggestions we try to do a lot. For real though, yeah. Content suggestions are neat because a lot of people are creative, and the annoying ones. Add Kino, add Thundergun. Of course we will, eventually. Yeah, lol, possibly, maybe. Like some suggestions are obvious. Yeah, has the amount of bug reports gotten fairly tedious/stressful? I know you guys patched that one glitch where players in the lighthouse could jump over the fence by the lighthouse and could attack zombies without being attacked. Yes, it's died down some more now. I think the most notable one right now are the various teleporter bugs on the rise, but it was very stressful during school time, especially around the months when I had final exams. I bet, for real. I was too busy studying to work on anything, and Joe wasn't able to fix a lot of them due to them being coding errors on my part, and the code being too complicated to debug. The zombies, AI, bugs. They were everywhere, and it's still not good. And mobile players, oh my gosh, don't get me started. They somehow managed to break literally everything. Exactly, and they're so demanding, I don't understand. I never worked on mobile games before. They most likely play Adopt Me, lol. But Joe has, and he's scared of them. Yes, like risky rulers on mobile. Thankfully, last bug fix update we made addressed a lot of the issues. When Joe came over to my place for a week, we sat down and ran through everything we could reasonably fix. Yeah, I definitely noticed improvements. I'm sorry for the console players and their sensitivity though. Console sucks for Roblox, yes. Roblox doesn't offer much for gamepads code-wise either. Yeah, also, Xbox's OS runs on C++, then translated to Lua for Roblox to run LOL. Vice versa, actually, I guess, lol. So I know you guys know about the jumping bugs, and Roblox makes it hard to fix it because Roblox's already implemented jumping system would make it hard to fix. If it works, it works. Wow, thanks for making it this far in the video. This last bit is going to be fairly short. After it, I'm going to be explaining and going through what was said throughout the interview, and it's going to be much more shorter than the interview, so if you skip the interview part, this is the part where I go through everything. More entertainment, lol. Jeez, it's been more than an hour. I don't really have any other questions unless you wanted to say something extra. I don't know. Expect the next update next weekend, I guess, lol. Alright, lol. Thanks for the interview. I'll be looking forward to the vid. Yeah, no problem. The story of Michael Zombies is definitely fairly interesting, especially when we discover of how the developers made it and how they came to make it. The fact that the two developers met each other from just a simple post on Twitter is definitely fairly interesting when we discover how they formed to make Michael Zombies and what they had to go through after the initial release of the game. It's definitely fairly surprising when we know that the tweet actually came out less than a year ago, by about 2 or 3 months I'd say. But apparently they actually met about a few days after the initial release of the tweet, and the fact that they would actually start making a game about like 2 months after that tweet is definitely fairly surprising, since most developers actually start collaborating about maybe more than 1 month down the road, maybe about a year or 75% of a year, which would be 9 months. One other thing to notice is that they also were working on Michael's Zombies while they were in school, and being in school, they both had to study and do homework, and near the end of their school, they had to do finals, which was even bigger of a toll on the amount of time they had to basically work on the game. And that was only a few months ago, about maybe 2 or 3, I'd say. But it's definitely crazy that they managed to push out the Lighthouse map during that exact time that they were actually working on finals. However, after the initial release of that update, they managed to meet up together, and Joe went to Kyle's house, so they actually managed to get a crap ton of work done and managed to get a whole bunch of bug fixes out. However, it's definitely going to be awesome when the next update releases, which is going to be very soon in a few days, depending on if this video releases or not. But one thing I actually thought before I did the interview with Kyle is I actually thought that Joe did the coding, because I saw that he made the Risky Rollers game on his profile actually, and then I found out that it was actually Kyle doing the coding and Joe was actually doing the building. It was also awesome that Lighthouse was actually the first original map that Joe and Kyle had actually made. And one of the other funny things is that Joe actually booted up World at War Call of Duty on his computer so that he can make Der Rise accurate. Along with it, apparently Kyle actually used an AK-47 free model when he was developing the framework. However, he applied this to most weapons currently in Michael Zombies actually. Also, while working on Michael Zombies, I believe, Kyle actually was learning how to animate properly in Blender at the time. So after he got the gun working, he expanded the system for basically all guns framework-wise. The success of Michael Zombies initially wasn't too great. They were averaging around, I believe, 50 to 100 players on initial launch. However, a few months later, it actually gradually grew up to about 100 to 300 concurrent players, I believe, at the time when I joined the community. However, right now, it's averaging around 800 to 1,400 concurrent players currently.